Welcome back. In episode 1, we learned that landscape architecture is not just decoration, it is the design of context. Today, we are taking a step back to look at the biggest canvas of all, the earth itself. When ordinary people hear the word landscape, they usually think of two things. They think of a beautiful painting in a museum, or they think of the bushes in their front yard. But as designers, we have to use a much broader terminology. Landscape is not just a picture you look at. Landscape is the continuous surface of the earth. It is the visible features of an area of land. It includes physical elements like mountains and rivers. It includes living elements like trees and animals. And most importantly, it includes human elements, the roads, the buildings, the farms. Everything outside your door is the landscape. And to understand it, you have to learn to read it. You cannot divide the world into just city and nature. It is not a black and white situation. Instead, think of the landscape as a giant spectrum, a sliding scale of human intervention. On the far left side of the spectrum, we have the natural landscape, pure, untouched wilderness. On the far right side of the spectrum, we have the completely urban landscape, the concrete jungle. But 99% of the world we actually live in exists somewhere in the middle of this scale. We call everything in the middle as the man modified landscape, land that has been altered for our survival or pleasure. To be a great landscape architect, you must be able to look at any scene and spot the human fingerprint. Let me break down both extremes of the spectrum for you, starting with Mother Nature's original design. A truly natural landscape is an environment that has not been significantly altered by human activity. These are places completely driven by geological forces, climate, and ecology over millions of years. Today, truly natural landscapes are incredibly rare. You mostly find them in deep oceans, high mountains, or polar regions. But how do you read a natural landscape? What is its visual language? The answer is chaos. Nature does not build in perfect squares. Nature builds in fractals, curves, and organic randomness. Rivers meander and curve. Trees grow asymmetrically to chase the sunlight. Mountains are jagged. In the natural landscape, form strictly follows the rules of survival, gravity, and weather. But humans are uncomfortable with chaos. We crave order, and that brings us to the human hand. The moment a human being steps into the wild and decides to change it, we create a man modified landscape. It starts with survival. The earliest modifications were agriculture. We cleared forests to plant seeds. We flattened hillsides into terraces to hold water. We dug canals to move rivers. And what is the defining visual language of the human fingerprint? It is the straight line. Nature rarely creates a perfect, endless straight line. Humans use straight lines to impose order on chaos. When you look out of an airplane window and see a perfect checkerboard grid of farmland, that is human geometry. We modify the land for three reasons: extraction, protection, and recreation. Extraction is mining and farming. Protection is building walls and cities. Recreation is building parks. As civilizations grew, our modifications become more extreme. We did not just bend nature, we buried it. This leads us to the different categories of modified landscapes that you will design in your career. First, we have the rural landscape. This is highly modified, but still deeply connected to natural systems. Forestry, agriculture, and grazing lands. The human hand is heavy here, but the green remains. Next is the suburban landscape. This is the middle ground. Low density housing mixed with manufactured lawns. Here, nature is highly controlled. Trees are planted for decoration. Grass is mowed to exactly 2 inches. And finally, the urban landscape, the peak of human modification. Nature is entirely paved over here. In the urban landscape, water flows in underground pipes, not rivers. Trees are logged in concrete planters. But remember what we learned in episode 1. Humans need nature to survive mentally and physically. So inside the concrete urban landscape, we intentionally inject pieces of fake nature. We call them parks.
So beautiful today.
Yeah, it's the perfect escape.
A public park is an illusion. It looks like nature, but it is 100% man-made. It is a highly engineered machine. The hills were built by bulldozers, the lake is lined with rubber, the trees were carefully selected and placed. As a student of architecture or landscape architecture, you can never look at a landscape blindly again. You must decode it. When you walk through a space, ask yourself, was this tree placed here by the wind or by a designer? Is this river curving naturally, or did a civil engineer calculated this exact turning radius to prevent flooding? Understanding this difference between what is wild and what is designed is your foundation. Every line you draw on a site plan is an act of modification. You are taking wild land and imposing order. You have to decide how heavy your hand will be. Will you dominate the site or will you blend into it? To summarize, landscape is the broad terminology for everything outside, the continuous surface of the earth. It ranges from the chaos of 100% natural to the rigid geometry of 100% man-modified. Now that you know how to read the spectrum of the land, we need to talk about the scale. How big is a landscape architect's canvas? Are we designing a tiny courtyard or an entire city? In the next episode, we are going to look at the scope of the profession. We will be zooming from the micro to the macro level. Make sure you are subscribed to this landscape masterclass, and I will see you in next episode.